Good evening, my friends. This is our day of the 23. So this is the first week, and this week we're going to review the most of the Vipassana in meditation, okay? So today I'm going to leading you step by step to review and to practice these the Vipassana inside meditation, focus on the sensation on the body, because I also just know that we have some people just come in, so kind of considered as a beginner. So I think today might be good to lead them step by step to doing the meditation, okay? So the first, sit on the cushion, and always the hip higher than your feet or your knees. And body, breath, and mind. And the first step is to prepare your body posture. And from the bottom to the top, feet always close the feet. You can do the full lotus. You both feet on your both side, or just one foot on the opposite sides, the thigh. Cross your leg and sit upright, your back upright, relax. So the way to relax your back is to circulate clockwise, counterclockwise, to make sure you sit stable, and then also loosen your, the muscle. So this also, when you are really in the middle of meditation, in case if you are really, you can kind of shake the body to your muscle. Then the third one, the thumb slightly touched. And then shoulder, open up, put it down. And chin, not up, not down, but in the middle, horizontally pour in. So then your back neck open up. Then the tip of your slightly touched behind your upper teeth, slightly touched. That at the same time also generates some saliva. You feel like your mouth is very dry. That also, generates saliva, moisture your mouth. And then eyes closed. Okay, so 7 steps for Vairochana. Feet, back, hands, shoulder, chin, tongue, eyes. Now the body posture already. Now it's your breath. Always started from your nostril, your nose, the entrance of your nose. Okay, focus on the nostril, breathing in, breathing out. You can count, for beginner, you can count 1, 1, 2, 3, up to 10. So every time you're breathing in and breathing exhale, then you count for 1. Inhale, exhale, count for 2. And up to 10, to do the counting. For the detail, you can go to day 1 and day 2 to review the practice. Now, let's practice and follow the breathing. Just observing the breathing. So you know the breath come in and goes out. No noise, no panting or gasping. The breath, the breathing should be fine, not coarse. And your breath is long one or short, or you're breathing in haste or just subtle and smoothly. Now your breathing is very smoothly and subtle. Now let's move to Vipassana. Now move your attention to the top of your head and the center area. Observing the sensations. Is it heavy, itchy, pain, sore, cold, hot? What kind of sensation on this area? So these will be all kinds of sensation or even numb. So every time when you move to part of your body, always arise the awareness. Just observe. Oh, you know, the sensation is heavy, it's cold, it's itchy, it's pain, it's numb. Now let's move to the top of the whole skull. Forehead, right eyebrow, heavy, itchy, eye, right eye, to left eyebrow, left eye, left cheek, right cheek, mouth, surrounding the mouth, your chin, now your whole face, your back of your neck, the front neck, shoulder, right upper arm, right elbow, right lower arm, right hand, thumb, first finger, index, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, now move to left hand, left shoulder, left upper arm, left elbow, left lower arm, left hand, first finger, second finger, middle finger, fourth finger, the fifth finger. Now front chest, you feel the moving, the motion of breathing. Even the heartbeat. Into your belly. Now to your back. Waist. Now right hip. Then to the right thigh. Right knee. foot. First toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Now let's switch left hip, left thigh, left knee, left leg, left foot, sole of your foot, first toe, second toe, third toe, first toe, fifth toe. If you sit by yourself, have more time, you can do the reversely. Button, reverse back to the top of your head. In case if some older, just reverse. Don't worry, it's okay. As long as you scan the whole body. Now the second technique. The first technique, if you have a time, try to do back and forth from top to bottom, bottom to the top. Scanning back and forth. That's technique 1. Now let's focus on technique 2. Technique 2 is to discern that the strongest, the most sensation in your body, maybe in your shoulder, in your hip, in your leg. The strongest sensation reflect that that area has some problem, especially means either the blood hinder, cannot penetrate it, or the energy block. Focus on the strongest sensation. Observing What is that sensation? It's a hurt, pain, sore, itching, numb, heavy. Just observing that sensation. The technique 3 is to focus on that area of sensation, doing the emptiness analysis. Where exactly is the pain? It's outside, it's inside, it's on the skin, muscle, or in the bone. Where exactly the pain in pinpoint. Secondly, what does mean about pain? The element of pain means itchy, heavy, numb, cold, hard. All together means pain. Or what does mean about pain mean? And exactly the pinpoint of the pain. Encounter them. Do not run away. This is the way sitting when our leg become numb. You will encounter the sensation of numbness. Go there and analyze what is numbness mean. Let's start today's metta meditation. If you're doing meditation by yourself, if you prefer have a longer meditation, you maybe not have to do the metta meditation. However, right now, during this pandemic, many people die or suffer. So this is a right time that we send out our mind thought. And so that is why every day we want to do the metta meditation. Sending our loving kindness and prayer to ourselves and to the people we know and we do not know. May I be free from the infection of coronavirus and other diseases, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May my spouse, partner, and children free from the infection of virus and other diseases, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May my parents and brothers and sisters free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May all my teachers and students be free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May all my friends and neighbors be free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, well and healthy. May all the people in this country be free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, from suffering, and be well and healthy. May all the people in this world be free from infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May all beings in this universe free from greed, hatred, and ignorance, free from suffering, and be well and happy. May all the doctors, nurses, and medical personnel, caretakers, people who standing in the front lines, be free from infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. And we like to pay our special thanks for their risk, their life to save others, and also burdened with a lot of mental pressure. May all the political leaders, free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from greed, hatred, and ignorance, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. We pray for them to have a wisdom to take a measure to save lots of life, create society and a peaceful world. May the people who die of coronavirus and disease rest in peace and be reborn better, happier, healthier realm. May all the people suffer from the infection of coronavirus and other disease will get rapid recovery and be well and healthy. Now, time to make a special particular prayer to some individual you particular would like to send, would like to bless them. I pray for our little friends, Drake, who was run over by a cart, will receive the full recovery and be healthy. And may all the can grow in a healthy, safe environment. Now, wrapping your hand, generate the heat, cover your eyes, massage your head, ears, your shoulder, your arms, back, your thigh, your knees, your leg, your feet. As I mentioned, before you standing up, always make sure that legs do not lose the sensation or the feeling. That means make sure they are not numb. So then you can standing up. Well, before we go to today's subject, the 25 preparation for better meditation, there was one subject that I like to share with you what I think. Yesterday, I read in news that a pastor in Virginia, basically, he defined the state order to stop the church service. So he was still conducting more than hundreds of people the service in the middle of a march, just regardless, or even the almost the end of the march. And then he died of coronavirus and passed away at the eve of Easter. And in the that's what he said. He said, I believe God is greater than the dread virus. Here I just want to share with you that since the break of the coronavirus, and first one in Asia, the first in Hong Kong, that there was still holding the New Year lunar calendar, a festival. So unfortunately, that 19 of his members got affected, and himself, the monk. Of course, then he came out to make an apology. He realized that because lack of experience and sorry for bringing the inconvenience and dangerous to the community. And then later in, it's about like in February too, that in Korea, the big church, it was a big gathering, maybe 1,000 people gathering, and it was almost like the Korea had 4,000 people got affected, and 60%, that means 240 people are from this church. So of course the leader also, kneel down and bow to the nation and make an apology. Of course, he may be faced the charge by mass negligence. So in Taiwan, usually during this time, this is springtime, especially in the March, April, that was the what we call the day of Maju, the Chinese folk religion, the goddess Maju, the most influential god in Taiwan, the deity in Taiwan. During her birthday, that day, more than 10,000, 100,000 of people will do the parade, and some, all together walk from the north to the south of Taiwan. And this is a big event in Taiwan, but of course the government, especially the Center for the Disease Control, have to dissuade from having this gathering. Finally, we are so glad that finally the people in charge of this parade and then decided to postpone, and of course in that time they always have all these arguments whether the God or the will protect you, or the order is more important. So that has been a very interesting, whether God or God have the power to overcome this virus. And as you also know that in the United States, from the beginning in March, there are I don't want to kind of say their names, and people can check. The pastor in part and also Louisiana, they got arrested by the police, and then kind of a claim this is our religious freedom. But very ironic, this pastor in Virginia, he believed God is greater than the virus, but at the end he died of the coronavirus. So ironic that he just disproved it. It's up to teaching people, unfortunately, a microorganism could be more dangerous than the God we believe. What should we say? I mean, that there are so many pastors, and then even the Pope respect so many people's life, and make sure that there was no big gathering, and even use of online or live stream to do the service, even for this very precious day like Easter. So this is very interesting to thinking about, like a church and state. At this moment that people claim free, like religion's freedom, I think that was somehow out of point. The first one, during this time that the state, the government prohibit the gathering, not target. The government not target only on religious group. That's the first thing. The second, that this is only temporary. It's not like the whole year that deprived all the gathering, church or the temple. And then the third one, I think that the human life, as a religious administrators, we need to learn, we need to humble to learn that the healthy problem, the science, knowledge, and to listen to people. And very important is the human life. Our members, our devotees, perish their life, perishness life. And thank you. You come back. I thought that was kind of a disconnect. I'm glad. Maybe the Bodhisattva also has some response as well. Okay. When we come to whether, God will protect us, I always tell the audience that we have to be responsible for our action. We are responsible for our karma. The Buddha, Bodhisattva, or I believe even God, they are our friends. They teach us how to do wise things and good things, and become a good people, to create a good action and good karma. But not decide our fate. Otherwise, that the God should just let everyone just go to heaven. But that is not the reality of the fact, because some people even, As when we said that, go to the background because they are own action. So they are our guidance only, but they cannot, be responsible for our action. Okay. So I think that yesterday I read some report, kind of a documentary report about, the title is Why Addiction Pull Me Back. That means the story is depict a drug addict was in the rehab, but come out from the rehab, he almost have nowhere to go, and basically the document was try to make a statement that there was no support system for someone after the rehab. And I think, yes, we should think about giving even more support. But I also have some, I think that we should teach our young people that instead of focus on the rehab, we should teach them that addicted is very dangerous, because once when you become addicted, have the addiction, it's almost like you got poison, almost like a suicide, very hard. We know that the addiction, it's just like a suicide. I remember that every year I conduct this summer. Sometimes there are lots of temptation. That one of the students, I remember that was 2015 year, and one of the students came to me. He said, "Eva came from South Africa, and I have learned about some of the they use a certain herb, and that is the drug. So it will make you feel like enlightenment." And I tell him, no, I don't believe that that's a real enlightenment, because enlightenment you need to come from the inside, not from the outside substances or the material. I don't believe it. And not to mention that if you take the substance, then you will have the side effect. And then he challenged me. He said, "Eva, if you don't take it, that it's no good." Okay. And I tell him, I said, well, I don't have to kill people in order to know that killing is no good. So I think this is, to discern bad. What is the good and bad is you have to think about the result. If you do this, you take this action, what will be the result after this action? Many of our young people, they get into the addiction, alcoholic, and then drug. They know the effect, they know the consequences, but they just ignore. So at this time, if you emphasize like a personal freedom, okay, this is my freedom, whatever I want, I can take whatever I want, and then become addicted to it, and then come out, you blame that the society do not provide you the help. I think it's unfair, because we also need to teach people everybody have to be aware about your obligation. Not always just right. I think the right obligation, freedom and duty should always in balance. So this is now maybe we can talk about the 25 conditions to prepare good meditation. Now we have come to the third category, is to discard, get rid of the hindrances. And one of the hindrances, the first one is called craving. I think craving for the substances, craving for the drug is also a craving as well. I heard that in the Confucianism, the analog, Confucius said that 食色性也, the food and the sex is the human nature. So, of course, as a human, always craving for food. The food is for the body, and the sex for the body, and also for the mind as well. It's kind of a nature. And I myself, of course, from when I was young, I also loved to read detective story. There was two reasons. The first one, I want to know that how the detective can solve the problem. So I'm always curious. Just like when I was young, I like to see, what MacGyver, the TV series as well, how he can solve the problem, at the most dangerous and most, devastating situation. So, to find out how to solve the problem. So, and the secondly, to watch all these kind of forensic file, is because, in religion, it has told us a lot about the goodness. We have to do all issues and then act. But why people commit crime? What is the evil come from? Of course, that if you look at all these kind of murder, interesting. One is, if some people put it, it's all with the money and sex. There was quite a few famous cases, always when the husband or even the wife had the affair, marital, like have the third party, and they kill their wife or even the pregnant wife. So that's the one, craving for sex. And or some people, they kill their spouse because insurance, the money and the sex, the desire. These are all the craving. Of course, will not do that. And then I always mention that in the in this murder case, that husband was killed. The first prime suspect will be the wife. If the wife, the prime suspect will be the husband. And we have to think about the husband and wife are supposed, when they get married, they are the people who love each other. And how come the love turned into you want to kill somebody? So the craving and anger, the love and hatred, it's really, two sides of one corner. You just turn. It could be the same people. Of course, I mentioned this. I didn't mean that the murder happened. Everyone know. It's a conceded percentage. Most people, do not act up. But this is to help us to make analysis about what does it mean about hatred, and the Buddhism examine. It's all out from our mind, and then also come from our sense organ. See something we love, and then we also see something we dislike, like and dislike, and develop a pleasant and unpleasant, and develop love and hatred. And this could be happen on an object. So what is the problem? It's the mind. And so that is why we have to analyze our own inside, the mind and thought. How come it turns so impermanent? So this is that, as I always mention, if we want to solve our daily life problem, it's not just when you eyes closed and breathing in and breathing out. We need to develop the kind of life philosophy exam that, where's all this problem come from? Okay, now it's almost 9 o'clock, and today I spent a little bit more time, and we will continue for these 5 hindrances tomorrow, okay? So have a good sleep and a good meditation before you go to sleep. Okay, good night.